Good morning, day one of hiking the Appalachian Trail in 100 days. Just passed the hiker registration little box on the Hunt Trail up to Mount Katahdin. So I got about 5.2 miles, maybe let's call it 5 by now, to hike to the top of Katahdin, and then that is where the Appalachian Trail officially starts. And you can see starting to get some climbs here, but nothing too crazy yet. I'm sure it'll get a lot steeper later, and my pace will likely slow down, but that's how it is. You can probably hear the stream over there. It's really nice. So good start to the day. About 5:20 a.m. It starts getting light here like before 4 a.m., which is crazy. So I woke up at 4 and it was already partially light out. Just about 3 miles in here and already a spectacular view, and pretty much above the tree line now, and just climbing up these rocks. See the white blazes going up there, and there's some little metal bar in a few places. You gotta kind of pull yourself up a little bit and then step on it, which is definitely more challenging than I was expecting this part to be, but it's a good challenge, I think, and I'm enjoying it. Wow, this is absolutely incredible. My expectations have been blown away. Got to this little flat part up here, but there's a big climb ahead still. So I think there's kind of this big climb here, and then I'm not sure if that's the peak right there. I think that over there might be the peak to the right, and you got to kind of walk along the ridge there. But it's not all that much more climbing. I'm not sure, but regardless, I'm gonna get to it. Well, we got a little bit of a false summit here. Saw this little sign here as I was getting up, and I was like, oh man, this is it. Then I got to the very top and I saw there's a definitely higher peak right up there, so gonna keep on moving. I am pretty close to the top now. I think that's it up there, and it's pretty incredible, honestly, with all these rocks and all this wind. There's some flowers out there, and really cool to see that, I guess. Not much of a flower person, but it's interesting to see that life can still exist up here, even with all these rocks and seemingly barren conditions. It's to the top of Baxter Peak here. Got the sign behind me, northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. I saw someone coming up a little bit behind me. They'll probably be up in, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes hopefully. So I think I'm gonna get them to take my picture next to the sign. But honestly, absolutely beautiful out here. There's definitely a little bit of clouds out, and it's a little bit hazy in places, but you can still see very far away, and not sure how it looks on the camera, but it's absolutely incredible here. And honestly, I think this hike up this mountain was much better than, just much more cool than the hike I did up a mountain in New Mexico. That was, 12 or 14,000 feet, and we started from 9,000 feet. So the conditions were much different, but just the views and the terrain are much more epic here, I would say, I think, even though it's only 5,200 feet. Katahdin Stream Falls right here. Pretty nice waterfall down there. Looks like could be a great place to go for a swim down at the bottom, but don't have time today, unfortunately. I am hoping to go swimming tomorrow. I have a little bit of a shorter day, and it's mostly flat, no big technical climbs like this. And there's some waterfalls along the trail, I believe, and then also there is a lake right where I'm planning on camping, so looking forward to that for sure. Alright, so I made it down off Katahdin and back into the Katahdin Stream campground. Definitely took me a little bit longer than I was expecting. It was about 3.5 hours up and 3.5 hours down. There was just slow going for a lot of those huge rocky sections, both up and down. But it's about 1 o'clock now, and I have about 13.5 miles left to the campsite I'm going to, which is, I think, Herdbrook Lean-To, and that is the first shelter or campsite in the 100-mile wilderness, which is outside of Baxter State Park. So the trail, I think, should be pretty simple. Looking on the map, it's very flat, so I'm hoping to get there by 6 o'clock or maybe a little bit before. It's almost 5 o'clock and I'm getting closer. I left Baxter State Park a little bit ago and just crossed over A-Ball Bridge, so I'm now officially in the 100-mile wilderness, and I have just over 3 miles left to the campsite for tonight. So made it to the campsite around 6:15. It was raining a little bit the last few miles, and I decided at one point to sit down and take a drink of water, and then started getting all wet, and then so I decided to dig out my pack cover and raincoat, and so that took up some time, and then the trail was wet, and there were some slippery rocks and roots and stuff, so I had to go a little slower. So got in about 6:15. So I was out on the trail about 13 hours. Obviously not on my feet the whole time, but I can definitely feel it. Just had dinner and did everything. Bear bags hung. About to go to bed here soon. There's some other people here. Talked to them for a while they were playing cards, and I was eating dinner, so that was cool. And yeah, definitely a big day. Like I said, the Katahdin climb was a lot bigger. I guess not bigger, just harder than I expected in terms of the terrain. The terrain just made it really slow going. And so yeah, I think I have 18 miles tomorrow, so, and it's not much elevation, I don't think, so gonna take it easy, not worry about going too fast, because I know we'll get there, and hopefully the weather is decent.